Let's quickly discuss the plan for planning. There will be 10 sessions for planning. We'll have a week extended session on weekends, right? So we can complete it fast. Otherwise, it's gonna be in vain. I just don't want to stretch it for too long. So we plan to have an extended session on Saturday, Sunday, so that we can close it. There will be 10 sessions for planning. The common topics which are there in planning and SBase, I'm not going to take it again because I already taught in planning. So all the important practical implementation planning point of view, I'm going to show you. In today's session, I'll show you how to create a planning application. There are certain simple session, very simple session. The planning is like a GUI. You select things from here and there. So learning planning is a key. The key to learn the planning is to, the more you practice, the more you learn. So there are some simple topics, very simple topic like creating data form, entering data. A simple topic I'll be sharing as a video so that we can speed up the learning. Right? Some simple topic I'll share the videos. For some concept, metadata management, the topic which require more intelligence or more interactive, I'll teach them on live. So this is how we can compensate and speed up our learning process. So today I'm going to start with planning introduction. This is quite functional thing. So let me give you some brief about it. The functional touch to what is planning is, why do we use it? Learning planning as a tool is not a big deal. Learning planning to understand how to address the business question is always a challenging task. It is really indeed a challenging task to map business requirement with the tool. Learning tool alone as a planning is just like MS Office. You click here and there and you perform your task. So let's try to understand the exact business meaning of each term. So why planning is being used? The name itself says planning, right? So planning is used primarily for planning and budgeting. All the companies across the globe these days need to plan their business, forecast their business 5 years down the line, how my company would perform, what would be my revenue, what are my expenses, what infrastructure I need, how many employees I would have. There are hundreds of questions people have in their mind. So the company want to forecast their business in the future, they do planning. So planning is just a forecasting of business 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the line. That's all. Planning and budgeting. Budgeting is when evaluating your expenses to meet the future needs. So Hyperion planning is an application that sits upon SBase, OLAP server. This is the reason you learn SBase first and then planning. So planning is sit upon SBase. And it is used by the organization to perform planning and budgeting. What planning and budgeting exactly mean, I'm going to show you. Hyperion planning is one of the most successful products in the industry for planning and budgeting implementation. Up to last statistics, Hyperion planning has 1500 base customers. When I say base customer means more are coming. Base customers, they are the customer for years. And out of 1500, majority of them are international banks, financial sectors, manufacturing companies. But majority of them are international banks. So it has very sound, solid, customer base. And HMM planning has given, Hyperion planning has given largest number of successful implementation. If you compare the counterparts, I cannot comment about other products, but if you simply compare with Cognos planning and Hyperion planning, you find a large number of implementation Hyperion planning has made. So very robust product in the industry, very recognized. Okay, so planning cater all kind of planning and budgeting requirement of the industry. Hyperion planning is a budgeting and forecasting application that derive collaborative. When I say collaborative, means integrated, single, one enterprise solution. Event-based planning. Event-based planning, a simple word could be your event-based planning, right? A simple word, if I say, I assume next year my revenue would be, I just plan, next year my revenue would be grown by 30%, right? And my plan is to reduce my expenses by 5%. This is my plan now. This is my plan for in the month of March 2011. This is my plan for 2000. This is a plan. I'm preparing a plan March 2011 for March 2012. Now what happened? Suddenly some, any business event happen in March, in April, a certain business event, like my company receive a loss or some strike, any event which influences my company. It could be strike, it could be some unexpected business loss, business deal failure, or any reason. I need to revise my plan. Then I revise my plan, say no, because of my loss, I cannot achieve 30% of revenue. It will be 10% only. So business event-based planning says you redefine your plan based on the business events. So process throughout the organization. Hyperion planning is being implemented at complete organization level, not at individual department, which address all financial and operation needs. Now let's see the different terms being used, what budget and planning mean. I'm going to show you one Excel sheet which will help you, which will assist you learning, understanding planning and budgeting. I've got this Excel sheet. I frequently use this Excel sheet. This is a simple, pretty easy Excel sheet. Talks about various kind of expenses. Let me open another one also. Okay. So this Excel sheet is talking about various kind of expenses in the future, which is related to the meeting expenses for the organization. Now if you look at, there are 3 columns: actual, budget and forecast. They are business scenarios. Now actual means actual expenses. Actual means actual expenses which we receive, important point over here, which we receive at the end of the period. So March expense, when do you receive? I receive March expense at the end of the March. Naturally, I can't receive them beforehand. So actual we always receive at the end of the period. Example could be, for me, March expenses I receive in 1st of April. Depends upon organization process. In general, I'll receive it. So actual always come at the end of the process. Budget we always define beforehand, right? We've been doing budgeting from our childhood, but we are not aware. Your parent gives you pocket money, considering your different business, considering your different needs. They give you pocket money. So it is a budget amount. You need to spend money under the budget. So budget is also pre-allocated and approved money, right? So similarly, different line of business in the company request for the money. Every company need money to derive their, every department in the company to derive their expenses. So budget, you go back and like sales department says, for sales department, or maybe let's say marketing department says, for my marketing campaign, I need $100,000. They need $100,000 for market campaigning. So this is the money they request for which, or market campaign. So they request some money and the business approves or reject, right? So your parent, every child, every children or family will request, I need, but the parent gives the money to the children based on the total budget or the total available money they have. So similarly it happens for the organization. They allocate the money, depends upon various factors, the allocated fund they have and all these things. So budget is a approved amount which is being approved. Forecast, which you expect. So marketing department says I need $100,000 requested. So this is forecast. But CFO, Chief Finance Department, approves not 100,000, they approve 99,000. They don't approve 100,000 because they don't have enough fund, it is not justice or some reason. So approved amount, which is budget, requested amount is forecast, and actual amount is actual. So the budgeting is the process of translating approved amount expenditure into funding. You request some amount and it is being approved. That's called budget. Allocated for a specific time period. Now budget is approved with specific time period. If you look at this Excel sheet, this expenses for 2 days meeting. It is very granular level. However, we do budgeting for monthly budget. Generally budget is done for year end budget. For 1 year we do budgeting. And forecasting we do for monthly. But there is no hard and fast rule, but it's an industry convention. So budgeting associated with certain time period. Budgeting is the process of predicting and controlling the overall spending of a company. I've got $10. I need to distribute this $10 to various departments for various activities. So it to very intelligently distribute the money to the company. That's what budgeting means. And it goes through multiple negotiation cycle. Periodic negotiation cycle. Because for your need, you request your CFO department, I need X amount. Your department doesn't approve it. You know, it gives you some other amount. So there is a negotiation happen between the entity which allocate the amount, the entity which requests it. There are two entities. It goes to multiple negotiation cycle. It would be very simple, right? You requested, you need $10 from your parents, right? Your parent gives you $5 and you say, no, $5 is not, I cannot derive my expenses in $5. Give me at least $7. So the multiple negotiation cycle happen between. That's called. And finally the amount which is settled down, which has been approved, agreed upon, is called budget amount. Forecasting just an estimation of future business condition. A prediction of a business. You predict for different expenses. I might need this money. I might need that much money. Just a forecasting. And planning is just a process. It's a process which binds budgeting and forecasting. Planning is the overall process which helps you for money management. Planning is one of the most important project management, fund management process which helps you to allocate fund money to different line of business, different department, depends upon their needs. So in SBS we learned basic consolidation. Planning are of two types, top down and bottom up. It's called allocation. Okay, we call term, there one term we call top down, we call it allocation. Bottom up you know very well, we've been using it. Now look at this example. The company says we give you total money, the total money allocate to company and say distribute this money to various activities.